Use mental math, estimation, and the division algorithm to evaluate the expressions. 325 is close to 300, and 2.5 is close to 3. If we divide those, we should get an answer that is close to 100. To use mental math, we are going to try and eliminate the decimal. We need to move this decimal one place, so I need to multiply by a 10. 10 moves the decimal one place because it has 1 0. Here it moves this decimal also one place, so we're going to put a 0 in that empty space. And when it moves this decimal one spot, it becomes a 25. Now I'm going to multiply by 4 here. And the reason that I'm choosing 4 is because I'm trying to turn 25 into a number that's easier to work with. For me, using 100 is simpler than using 25, and 4 sets of 25 gives me 100. When you multiply the top by 4, you get 13,000. Since these both have 2 zeros at the end, we can divide those out, and I have 130 divided by 1. Whenever you divide a number by 1, you just get the number that you started with. So 130 divided by 1 is 130. Now down here we're going to use the division algorithm. We have 325 divided by 2.5. We are going to move the decimal once here and once here. So now I'm going to work with 25 and 3,250. 25 fits into 32 once. When you subtract, that gives you 7. Then you need to bring down your 5. 25 fits into 75 3 times. 75 cents is 3/4. That's one way that you can think of it. And I have nothing left over, but I still have to fill in my spaces. So my answer is 130. And that's pretty close to my estimate. For problem 5, 196 is close to 200, and 3.5 is close to 4. 4 fits into 25 times, with nothing left over, but we need our extra place values. So our estimate is around 50. For the mental math piece, remember we stack our numbers, and we are going to multiply by 10 to move those decimal places one space. For this one, that extra space gives us a 0, and to move it one space here, we get 35. I am going to multiply by 2 now. The reason I am multiplying by 2 is because when I multiply 5 by 2, I get 10. So I'm going to end up with a number that ends in a 0. 35 times 2 is 70. See how I have that 0? Then on the top, when I multiply 1960 by 2, I get 2,920. So there is a set of 10 I can divide out. Now I'm going to move on to the division algorithm step, since that one's not super simple. 7 fits into 39 5 times, which gives us 35. 9 minus 5 is 4, and 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down the 2. 7 fits into 42 6 times exactly. So our answer is 56, and that is pretty close to our estimate. For number 6, 405 is close to 400, and 4.5 is close to 5. 5 fits into 48 times, with nothing left over, but we still have one extra place value, so our approximation is around 80. For mental math, stack them up and start by getting rid of the decimal. One decimal place requires you to multiply by 10. Move it over once gives you 45. Moving this decimal over once requires you to fill in that empty space with a 0. I'm going to multiply by 2 because 5 times 2 will give me a 10, or a number that ends in a 0. 2 sets of 45 is 90, and 2 sets of 4,000 would be 8,000, and 2 sets of 50 would be 100. Notice here, I can get rid of a 0, and I have 810 divided by 9. You may be able to finish this piece here, but if not, we can go down to the mental math or the division algorithm section. 9 goes into 81 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81, so there's nothing left over, but I have to fill in that empty space with a 0. Our approximation of 80 is pretty close to our answer of 90. For this one, we can approximate that 3,437 is close to 3,000, and 5.5 is close to 6. 6 fits into 30 exactly 5 times. And then I need 2 place values. For mental math, start by stacking them as a fraction. This time we're going to multiply by a 10 to get rid of one decimal place. It will move it once here and once here. Now I'm going to multiply by 2. The reason I am choosing 2 is because 2 times 5 gives me 10, and so my answer will end in a 0. 55 times 2 is 110. And here I have 68,750. You can see 2 sets of 34 is 68, and then 2 sets of 375 is 750. Now I can divide out a 0, and I have 6,875 divided by 11. So we're going to take that down to the division algorithm piece. 11 goes into 68 6 times, which is 66. 8 minus 6 is 2, and 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down the 7. 11 fits into 27 twice, and it gives you 22. 7 minus 2 is 5. Bringing down the 5. 11 fits into 55 5 times exactly. So we have an answer of 625, which is kind of close to our approximation.